The July 4th sale continues at Premier Heating and Air. Get a free programmable Wi-Fi thermostat with the purchase of any new heating and air conditioning system, with payments starting as low as $89 a month. Call Premier Heating and Air today at any of our convenient locations. This offer absolutely ends July 31st. And remember, less than perfect credit is no problem with Premier Heating and Air, a locally owned and operated company.
Welcome everybody, I'm glad to have with you today the Executive Director of Downtown Dublin, the Downtown Dublin Authority basically, but Glenda Berry. You've been on the job here a little while, but let me ask you first before we get started. We're going to talk about some personal things as we go. That's your tease right there. You say, well, I'm not turning it now if they're going to get personal. So they ain't much about me you don't know already, watching TV all these years. But Glenda, I'm excited. We got Bye Bye Birdie coming up at the end of the month.
We do. We have a new Dublin Community Theater, which was launched really in the spring, and Bye Bye Birdie is our first production. We've got a great show. It's going to open on July 27th through the 29th, but we hope everybody will come see it. We have an amazing lead in the role of Birdie, which his character is actually supposed to be sort of a takeoff on Elvis Presley when he went into the Army. And lots of great music and dancing. It's a funny show. I think anybody that comes will enjoy it. In fact, they may want to come back and see it all 4 shows. You never know. Yeah,
we're taping this. Those of you who've been in here, I still say the Martin Theater. I still call people by their maiden name, women by their maiden name. So I have trouble moving on, I guess. But and of course, it's not helping me. You can't see it, but off her shoulder, I'm looking at a picture of the old Martin Theater front, which it's. I'm thankful for people like Griffin Lovin and people in our community that didn't want to destroy this theater and come in and redid it. It is absolutely a perfect venue. Just a quick commercial. If you like to use it for whatever reason, you can call Glenda and her staff here. We'll be talking more about them in a minute. But it's funny, I'm looking at that picture behind you. It's Robert Mitchum. That's just a blast from the past. But when you said Elvis, we used to come and it was, Daddy, give me $1 for me and my brother and sister. I'd pay to get us in. We could eat all we wanted. And we could watch Elvis all day on Saturday. It was Elvis movie after Elvis movie. And who don't like Elvis?
There you go.
Even younger people. Elvis crosses all sociopath, gender, lines that there is. But so Bye Bye Birdie, you got a local cast. Y'all been practicing this for a long time. You got 4 showings. So you talked a little bit about it. Give us a little more tease right there, maybe some of the local characters.
Oh, sure. Well, I know the plot centers around, before he's going to go into the Army, he's going to give a farewell kiss to a teenage girl, kind of representative of all the teenage girls who scream and yell and love Conrad Birdie. I can share the person who's playing that part of Kim McAfee is none other than Brandy Brown's daughter. She, of course, is our manager and owner of The Exchange. So her daughter Ambry's playing that part. We actually have someone from Company Supply who's playing the part of the exasperated father, Harry McAfee. So you'll recognize some of the people. Tara Heel, who is our owner of Society Cafe, is playing the part of his wife, Doris McAfee. So just lots of fun characters in the show. And what you'll find out is what happens when he's supposed to land that special kiss. There's something that happens. It's a big surprise. So it's worth, again, it's just worth the price of the ticket to come see the show.
Yeah, and these are things, y'all, and I still run into people, and it just kills me. And some of you watching now saying, that's exactly what he told me, but there's nothing to do in Dublin. I said, well, you're not looking. Log on. Things to do in Dublin, Georgia. Our Visit Dublin, Miriam and her staff, they do a wonderful job. They work closely with y'all.
They do.
And you know, and I know you found that out, but our community works well together. Even the people that might not be fond of each other, if it's good for the community and it's going to help the community, even those people will get together for the good of the community. Then they go back tomorrow, maybe not being fond of each other. But it is a great community that we live in.
It's a wonderful community, and I think that this production is just one example of how everybody's come together. It's a cast of different backgrounds, so it has diversity, different ages, and the way everybody comes together and the way that people are so positive and supportive. And this won't just be a one-time thing. I mean, with Dublin Community Theater, that's the heart of it. It really is about community. So we plan to continue shows here. Every summer we'll have a big musical that will hopefully just bring in more and more people into it. So this is something for the Downtown Development Authority. We're excited about being able to host something here at the theater that does respond to, well, there's nothing to do well, there's plenty to do in Dublin, plenty to do. And I think that in my role, what I love the most is being able to look at places like this historic venue, which 1934, so we know that next year it'll celebrate its 90th anniversary of the original Martin Theater. Now the venue for Theater Dublin, but we have so many concerts and plays and movies, and we want to just keep doing more and more to bring more people into the community. Yeah,
probably my favorite part, other than the fact that you've been working hard on it, and it is a great production, but when you're going down the cast, it's truly the community. You know, you mentioned, I think Jared at Company Supply, and Society Cafe, and right on through the Exchange. And Brandy's daughter, I met her when she was really, really young. I was going to say really, and she was little, but she was very young. We had her on TV, and she was so enthusiastic, energetic, and I know she'll carry that over into this. But y'all, you're going to want to come see it. Bye Bye Birdie. Tell us the dates and times again.
Again, it's going to open on Thursday, July 27th. The show's at 7 o'clock. On Friday, July 28th at 7 o'clock. And then on Saturday, the 29th, our last day of performances, we have a matinee at 2 o'clock and we have an evening performance at 7. People can get information at dtdublin.com, our website, or they can call 478-272-2560. But we hope by the end of it, everybody's going to be screaming, "We love you, Conrad."
You have no excuse. There's a time for you. There's a time for you to come. So there is no excuse. And you don't want to be one of those people, and I don't care what event it is, that people will say, "Oh my gosh, I heard somebody at church, I heard my neighbor say they went to the whatever, the rodeo or the Bye Bye Birdie, and I wish I'd went." Well, don't be that person. Come so you can be the person telling the other person how good it was. So, and you'll want to continue supporting this production and these productions that's coming every summer. You heard it for yourself. We're going to take a break. We'll be back right after this.
I'm Brian Bazemore, President and CEO of Community Bank of Dublin-Lawrence County. We would like to invite you to come by and experience a welcoming banking environment. Come by today and have a cup of coffee and let us talk with you about our many products, savings accounts, checking accounts, CDs, and our many loans. You're more than just a number to us, you're family. Come by today, Community Bank of Dublin-Lawrence County, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
Since 1916, Gravely has been designed, engineered, and made right here in the USA. Whether you prefer gas or electric, every Gravely has been forged with the commercial landscaper in mind. So they're not only built to last, but to also keep you riding comfortably from dawn to dusk. So ask yourself, are you ready to graduate to a Gravely?
Hey, I'm TJ Schuler with Myers Equipment Supply. Come see us for all your sales and service needs.
Welcome everybody. I have with me today Glenda Berry, the Executive Director of Downtown Dublin, and you wear a lot of hats.
I do, but I love it. That's what I love the best about my job, is that every day is a little bit different. And it really focuses, it ranges in everything from the economic development of downtown to the revitalization of downtown, getting in a little bit to sort of the historic preservation, though I don't pretend to be an expert there. And we have a wonderful historical society that works very hard and diligently on that. I think another part of my job has to do with just being a public eye. And one of my favorite things to do is really to walk around town and to look at places that we can make a positive change. If you go through and you see something that, is this really what a visitor, you'd want somebody to come and see? If it maybe there's a way we can add some additional lighting. Maybe there's a way we could add some additional landscaping and fix things up. So we want Dublin to be such a welcoming, friendly place. We work real closely with our merchants. Our merchants are incredibly important. Their voices and their feedback makes such a difference to us in terms of the events we're trying to do and in terms of the direction we're trying to go. Another part of what I do is I work very closely with, we have a DDA, board of directors, who represent the community. They represent businesses in the community. They're business owners or business leaders. They're appointed by our mayor. They give so much of their time and so much support to what we're trying to do. I think another part in terms of just my job is we manage venues, we manage the theater, we manage the Market on Madison, we manage the Carnegie Library. So every day we could be out at the farmer's market, we could be here with like kids movies, or I could be going to meet with a local CEO about some of their business interests. It's just, again, every day's a little different.
Yeah, and first of all, I don't even know why I'm here. She could just take the show and do what she wants to do with it. And you just give me an idea. When you're talking, my mind's actually running 100 miles an hour. It's my personality. But we need to do a walkthrough one day. You need to take it and do the show and do a walk through Dublin and show we do care about the points you're trying to improve or whatever, but to show because our YouTube presence is so large from surrounding communities and around the world. It's amazing to me, the people in the UK and Japan and places like that watch, and probably those people used to live here and want to keep up with what's going on. That's just my guess. But yeah, I think that'd be a great thing to do. But you talk about the merchants. They should be the heartbeat of what's going on, because they're the ones with the investment. They're the ones that were sold on downtown before people were sold on their business.
That's right.
So it's very, very important. Let's talk before we get too far here. What got you to Dublin? You and I actually crossed paths. I didn't realize it until we were talking on the phone the other day. We had talked before through the Alzheimer's Association.
That's right.
And I didn't know that until we were talking about it. You know, you and I both talked to, I don't know, hundreds and hundreds of people. And it's hard enough for me to remember what I did this morning, much less then. But I thought that was pretty neat. But tell our viewers, tell the community and kind of take us through the maze and what got you here and what prepared you for this role.
Well, I was born and raised in Athens, but when I'm kind of an unusual person because I started at the University of Georgia and I went from a big school to a small school. I wanted to go to Georgia Southern. So when I transferred to Georgia Southern, loved it, go Southern, go Big Blue, but my parents relocated to Dublin. And so like all college kids, I mean, when your parents move, you're home because they're home. It's either being out on the street or being where they are. So when I was in Statesboro, I started to come to Dublin. And really from my first visit, I loved the community. I loved the small town. I mean, Athens was a small town, believe it or not, when I was growing up there. But because of the university, it was so huge, and now it's just gotten tremendous.
Yes.
I mean, who would have ever thought Athens would get as big as it
Yeah.
is? But my parents, my mom was actually in the school system here for many years. She was a speech therapist out in Lawrence County. My dad, when he officially retired from the University of Georgia, he wrote for the Courier Herald. His name was Dr. John Belcher, and you know, they loved their life here. And even though I went on to get out of school, and then I lived in Atlanta, I lived in San Diego, I lived in Tampa, I sound like a gypsy, I lived in Nashville. Dublin was always home. Wherever I was, Dublin was always home. And after my mom's passing, we made the decision. I had a job where I was, as you said, I worked in a national role for the Alzheimer's Association. My whole career was in nonprofit, so doing special events, public relations, just all that kit and caboodle, telethons at Muscular Dystrophy. But when my mom passed, we had a chance, I could work any place. So we thought, gosh, to be able to live and work in Dublin would just be a dream to me, because as much as I love those big cities, it's just not the same thing.
Yeah.
So we bought my mom's old home, we renovated it, and so a year ago, I actually left I traveled 60% of the time. I didn't really know a lot of people in Dublin because I felt like I was always driving up 16, driving up to Hartsfield. Probably knew some of the people at the airport better than I knew here, but it's, I knew that I wanted to do something that was local, that would have impact, and I'm acquainted with the mayor and had a conversation and found out they were looking for an executive director for the Downtown Development Authority, and thought, I think God always guides you where you're supposed to be.
Yeah, He directs our steps.
That's it. And so if you believe God guides your journey, this just seemed to be something where I could use all my background, all the different things I've done, and it's just been, I've been in the role less than 6 months, but it's just been amazing. Love it, and know that there's still so much work we need to do.
Yeah. And I love when I learn something during an interview, and I always learn multiple things, but Dr. Belcher, I can remember reading so many of his columns, and I can't believe I'm sitting here with his daughter now. So that's just incredible. I don't know him, but I know him through that writing. You feel a personal connection, as I do with so many people. Me and my wife were at Walmart recently, and I run into this lady, and we hugging and loving on each other. We talked about 10 minutes and walked off. My wife said, "Who was that?" I said, "I have no earthly idea." She knew me, and I immediately had an attraction to her, you know, in a good way, because we love our community. You mentioned God directing your journey, and He does. He says in His Word that He directs our steps, and obviously He put you and the mayor on a collision course because that was what you were meant to do at this time in your life, and I hope it's for a long time. But as you walk around and you see all these things around town, and you got to admit, you didn't come in and had to fix a whole lot of things to start off with. You had a good product coming in. That had to make you feel good. But I want to know, what is your vision? What are your long-term plans? What do you see?
You know, I think the long term is, first and foremost, we really want to be more actively involved in bringing people into downtown. We also want to make sure that we're trying to work very collaboratively with our community partners. I mean, whether it's the city government or the county, we want to make sure that we're working on projects or things that are really going to move downtown forward. I never apologize, because my job, we are focused on downtown. But if you think about any city or community, you talked about the merchants being the heartbeat. I think downtown is the extended heartbeat. I think if you drive into a town, you can almost get a feel from a community from what that downtown looks like. So I would like to see us have all of our available space filled. I would like to see our downtown become a place that when people get off of 16, they go ahead and make the additional drive 3 miles into town so they can see the restaurants and see the shops and experience what true Southern hospitality is. Another thing we really are trying to continue to advance is that we want to have a group of volunteers called the Downtown Spirit Squad. And with the Spirit Squad, they would have multiple opportunities, whether it's volunteering at the theater or at our garden or at the market. We have so many different places that we can use support, and if there's a different interest for someone, we can find something to connect them. So I think volunteerism is another huge part of downtown. Another thing that I'd like to see us do is, you mentioned Visit Dublin. We love Visit Dublin. And actually, as someone from Visit Dublin, Erin Erickson is one of our leads in Bye Bye Birdie. So there's another reason to come see the show.
Yeah.
She is so talented. But I think that if we can create an extension of when people come into town, we want to make sure that if they're interested in a business, we're able to connect them. If they're interested in a home, we can connect them with a group of realtors. But I see the Downtown Development Authority as being an umbrella. And if we're not the ones who are going to directly help that person, we're going to be able to direct them to where they need to go to get that support, whether it's a new home, maybe they're looking for a new job or position. I mean, the Chamber of Commerce does an amazing job with all of their work. So does our regional development, the work that Ryan's doing.
Yes.
So I just think that we want to be, you can't be all things to all people, but doggone it, I want to try to be as close to that as we can when it comes to businesses and community members.
And we've got a great group to draw from, the 9 counties that surround Lawrence County. We're town. We're the medical hub. There again, our forefathers saw a need to build that beautiful hospital out there, team up with HCA. And here we are now. If you stand on top like I have and look all the way around at all the medical buildings, doctor's office, dentist office, all kind of things, retirement homes, and you can walk the paths coming from the cottages and all through there. It's there was a plan all along to tie all this together, and also more station coming from that way. So we are town for reference in downtown. I told you the other day, I love to read tags. So many people from Emmanuel and Wilkeston and Johnson and Troutman and Dodge and on come to Dublin for what we do. And we want them to come to the theater. We want them to come and be involved in, and you're right, that Southern hospitality is there, because I eat at these places and I see these people, not just for me because they know me, but I watch Richard Mascara talking to people at different tables, and I could go on from there. But yeah, if you're watching us on YouTube from a good distance away, it's worth the drive to come to see Bye Bye Birdie, or to see things that are going on at the theater. I know you're working on some big names coming in, and we've always, Miss Bessie, always brought, I mean, big country music names. She loved country music. We have big gospel groups. And y'all, when we do these things, when Glenda works hard in her team, and we're going to talk about her team in just a minute, we're going to talk to them. But there's a lot of work goes into this, so let's support these things so we can bring other things in, because it's easier to sell it later on and say, look, we sold out the last 5 venues, last 10 venues, and it's easier to get these people to take your phone call first.
Well, sure. I mean,
you need help. I mean, we all need help.
Yeah, I mean, excitement generates more
Yeah.
excitement, but I think that you know, we're talking about downtown, and I think about new businesses. I mean, you and I go back. I can remember going on a date to Ma Hawkins. I mean, that was like the place to go in downtown, and it was wonderful. And but if you look at the way the restaurants have come in, and just, you know, like Rosie's Ice Cream, which is a new ice cream place that's right behind us. I mean, it's wonderful to see. Just in the last month, I think we've had 4 new businesses that have come into downtown, and more coming. So we just really encourage people that if you haven't been to Dublin lately, come visit Dublin, come visit downtown. And I think that, again, back to sort of where we're going, we want to be able to communicate with people and let them know what's here. We want people to come in and look and see, you know, there's a big project that's getting ready to start, the Madison Street redevelopment. you know, it's exciting, it's changing. But I think one thing that's important for people that, you know, change is always a funny thing, because even positive change, sometimes people can be like, no, I kind of liked it the way it used to be. But I think that we're sensitive that as much as things are progressing, I don't think Dublin's ever lost who they are, their true self. I think Dublin celebrates its history. And I think that as much as we celebrate our history, I think we also embrace the future, which is really a wonderful thing to be able to do.
Yeah. I had a picture on my office wall for many years said, change is not the end of the road unless you fail to make the curve. And it's change for the sake of change sometime, maybe not, but change for the good. And we've seen some great changes, you got to admit. And I don't ever want to be that old man around town or in church saying, we always done it that way.
Right.
You know, that's not a reason to keep doing it. But if you can show the community, and that's the thing about our city leaders, community leaders, development authority and county commissioners, they will have public hearings, share the idea, let people, like now they're going around town on Oconee Gym over here and all that's going on. They get the input from the community.
They do.
And if you don't give your input, it's your own fault. You know, so you got to be at these things, these hearings. So we're going to take another quick break, and we want to come back and introduce this wonderful staff who makes Glenda look even better than she already is. So y'all stay with us. We'll be back right after this.
Jason services cars well at Dublin Chevrolet.
Eli sells cars well at Dublin Chevrolet.
Rob Houston sells cars well at Dublin Chevrolet.
Dylan sells cars well at Dublin Chevrolet.
We do cars well every day at Dublin Chevrolet.
I'm Heath Richter, and we just want to invite everybody to come on down to the Houston Clinic and check us out at our new facility. We've been in Dublin for a while now, obviously, but have a new office here, and we'd just like you to come down and see some of the new stuff we're offering. And if you need to get checked out, we'd be glad to do that for you. We've got able to do some ultrasound guided injections now, and physical therapy, and just a little bit better space, so hopefully we can get you in and out of here a little bit quicker.
Come by and see us today at our brand new location, the Houston Clinic, Medical Drive in Dublin.
Welcome back, everybody. If you're just joining us, I'm talking to Glenda Berry. She is the executive director of all of downtown. And before we go any further, explain to people, because a lot of people don't know, what is downtown? Explain that.
Well, when you talk about downtown, usually we're talking about from Church Street down to Jefferson Street. So it really is defined as what I would call the heart of downtown. But we know that there's some extension where it goes out a little bit more on Jefferson Street, or the historic district actually goes all the way down to Bubba's Tires, so all the way down Bellevue. But in terms of where our primary focus is, it really is the area from Church Street down to Jefferson. That's our primary focus area.
Well, you've assembled a wonderful team, and this first lady I want to talk about, I had to beg you, and y'all gonna see what I'm talking about. She won't talk, she's not enthusiastic, she's not bubbly, she's just blah. But I asked Glenda, this is how good she is, to get her to be in a good, positive, enthusiastic mood this morning. Yeah. And when I come in, Elaine was in a great mood, so you did a great job. And I'm being very sarcastic there. But talk about your team. Let's start with Elaine.
Sure. Elaine Avery is she is our operations manager, and she also is the point person for our Market on Madison. Can't say enough good things about Elaine. She really is. She is like a can of Coca-Cola that you shake up and just
put my minnows in it.
That's it. She brings just sunshine and joy every day, but she is the one who really helps keep things running behind the scenes. She started actually in the time I've been here working with the market, and then she moved into a full-time role as our operations manager, but I absolutely consider her like my right hand. We laughingly sometimes call ourselves Lucy and Ethel just because of some of the things that we are having to get involved in, moving or trying to do something backstage. But in Elaine's role, she will be the person that You may hear her be the first voice on the phone. If you have a question about the Carnegie or like a venue rental, you may be talking to her. If we owe someone money, you may be talking to her. She'll make sure that our bills are paid. But she is a fantastic part of the team, and I look at her as someone who will hopefully one day be my successor when I come back to volunteer for downtown Dublin. But Elaine is just, she brings so much heart to everything that she does.
Yes.
And for anybody that knows her, they are just so lucky to have a conversation with her, because she always is in a great mood, and she's always enthusiastic and positive.
And she will leave you better off than before you met her. She always leaves you with that. And she has, Ronald Reagan was known as a person who, when he was a great communicator, but when he talked to you, and this isn't political, but when he would talk to you, it would be, you were the most important person in the world. Whether you were Mikhail Gorbachev or James Deal or Glenda Berry. I actually met Ronald Reagan one time, so I know for a fact, the leader of the free world, if he can make you feel that way, surely you and I can do that.
Right.
And Elaine does that.
She does.
So,
she does.
We can learn from her, and that's the kind of person that you can learn from anybody, just about. So she's a good one. All I could think about when you said Lucy and Ethel was them on the conveyor belt with the candy, where they start. That's one of my favorite scenes, I guess. So sometimes it feels that way. I know y'all were here to 9 o'clock last night.
We were.
And then I wanted to meet you here first thing this morning.
No. We, you know what? When you're working on a production, we say, we have our day job, and then at night the play is really a passion project. So. Yeah, that's us being a little bit facetious, but anything in life that's worth doing, you got to put time and energy and effort into it, for sure.
Absolutely, and it's definitely worth it. Okay, what about Evan?
Evans is I guess I shouldn't say it's recent, because now it's been about 6 months, but he graduated from Mercer University, so this is like his first professional job out of school. His background has really been in business and marketing. So actually before I started, Evans was here for a couple of weeks on his, kind of riding the range solo, but he brings in a lot, of course, also energetic, really loves the social media, has been great at building relationships. He's been a point person on Pig in the Park, and when we did the Crawfish Festival. We all try to work together on the events, but I love our team, and Evans really has just that ability to kind of with the technology part of it, but he is a social media whiz, no question about that, and it's just lots of fun to work with him.
He's a whiz in general, a Mercer grad. I mean, that says a lot right there. To graduate from a university like Mercer, it's
that's right.
Great school right here in our backyard or front yard, whichever way you want to look at it. But well, we're going to take another break. We're going to bring those two characters in, and you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about. Y'all stay with us.
Hi, I'm Tom Domney, Dublin Nelson Company. We're a full-service wholesaler specializing in plumbing, irrigation, and industrial products. We are committed to building long-term relationships with our customers by earning your business every day. With a staff that collectively offers more than 50 years of expertise, our team knows your industry. We're able to answer your questions and are ready to help you get the parts and equipment you need. At Dublin Nelson, our goal is long-term success of your business. We achieve that goal with a simple commitment, doing things right, one customer at a time. Our showroom is complete with the latest styles and fixtures. Stop by and see us at 507 Airport Road, or give us a call at 478-272-3585. That's Dublin Nelson.
All right, boys, if you want to go to college, you have to clear out another one of these.
What if we told you there was a better way to save for your kids' college than pickle jars? Morris Bank's Savings Builder account and Moolah makes saving for your kids' college easier than ever. All you have to do is connect the account to your debit card, where it automatically rounds up your purchases to the nearest dollar, depositing that spare change into a Moolah account, where it will grow into a nice little nest egg for whatever your kids have their sights set on.
Welcome back, everybody. As promised, you heard, I don't know if you heard y'all's just wonderful, I can't even think enough adjectives, interview that Glenda gave you. Y'all make a great team. There's no doubt about that. You know, you're only as good as your people.
That's right.
And that goes all the way around, you know, and that's y'all, it's the downtown merchants, it's the people that are watching, whether you're in Swainsboro or Statesboro or wherever you are, Eastman, you're just a part of this community as we are. And we'd love for you to come. And we talked about Southern hospitality a while ago, and I can tell you, a hometown boy that was born, I tell people at the Middle Georgia College is where I was born. No, my mom wasn't in school there, and she had me while she was there. That used to be the hospital to all you new people. So that's a little trivia for today. But Lane Avery, Evan Hodges, we're so glad to have them. You heard just an entire bio on y'all a while ago. Elaine is the one I was saying I just wanted to pump her up when I got here and just get some enthusiasm. Evans, I mean, it's just, she's always so down, and, you know, you don't want to be around her, and y'all know I'm being sarcastic, so don't believe nothing, that part right there. We should have even edited that out, but it might have got edited out for all I know. But Elaine, let's talk about you first. Tell our viewers who you are, where you come from, and why you're here right now.
Well, I'm Elaine Avery. I was born Elaine English. I actually was born and raised in Cochran, Georgia, over in Bleckley County, and my parents were Clyde and Marjorie English. And because my daddy had a business in Dublin, I actually always considered Dublin my second home. And so I have been living in Lawrence County since the late 80s and love Dublin, and I was so excited to be able to get involved in Lawrence County and everything, and now I am the operations manager here for downtown Dublin, and I also cover the market on Madison.
Evans, I know you're a Louisville boy.
Yes,
sir. Made it around Macon through Mercer University. And that right there says enough right there. Mercer Bears. No, we love Mercer University, and I know they love you too, all the money you spent up there getting an education, so, and I know it was worth it. But tell our viewers about yourself.
Yeah, so like he said, I'm originally from Louisville, Georgia, born and raised there, lived pretty much all of my childhood there. Lived in the area, Augusta and Rennes as well, so Jefferson County, Richmond County, my whole life. And then made it to Macon for 4.5 years at Mercer University, and then started here in January as a position of Main Street Director for downtown Dublin. And I've thoroughly enjoyed my time so far, you know, making new friends and connections with people in this great community. You know, my sister was in the Nutcracker here growing up, so I saw what good of a community Dublin was in, and then through eating at restaurants here and passing through, I've seen how it's grown since then as well, because that was somewhat 10 years ago probably, and you know, it's growing a lot and it's going to continue growing, and I'm glad to be a part of that now. So.
Yep, absolutely. When you was 13, huh?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I guess simple math, you know how old he is now. We'll leave mine and Elaine's age out of this, you know. I shouldn't have went there, huh? So you came first. You came first, and you hired Glenda and Elaine, got them in here. But you were here for a couple of weeks before Glenda got here, wasn't you?
Right, yeah, completely by myself. We were in our old office then down the street, and it was just me. And didn't kind of, you know, drinking from the fire hose for the first couple of weeks, having no idea.
Yeah.
Kind of just learning everything as I go, but thankfully, you know, we have a great board, and Jack Walker, one of our board members, was a great help getting me started in, and also the rest of the board members, but especially him, you know, while I was here by myself, making sure, you know, I had all the resources and everything I needed to get running and get everything I needed to make sure, you know, I knew what I was doing and could take everything in the right direction. And then Glenda stepped in a few weeks later, and she's been a great boss. And I've been thoroughly enjoyed working for her. And yeah.
Yeah. Y'all were here till 9 o'clock last night.
Yes.
What were y'all doing?
We had rehearsals for Bye Bye Birdie.
Yeah, that's going to be incredible.
It is going to be amazing. There's not words to describe how wonderful Bye Bye Birdie is going to be.
Yeah. You know, people always say in Dublin, they say, well, I heard so-and-so, the rodeo or whatever it was. Oh, it was great. And I didn't get to go to it. I'm going to go next year. Don't be that person. Because it's going to be really, really good. And you heard the times and the dates and all a while ago, but we got matinees, we got 3 other shows besides the matinee. There's no excuse. Right. Come and enjoy it, bring the kids. It's a family affair. And you know, growing up here at the Martin Theater, first thing we did was my sister and I, we'd want a pickle. You know, they sold pickles. They were a nickel. And we'd get us a pickle, bag of popcorn, and Coke. Daddy'd give me $1, I told Glenda, for all 3 of us. We'd come watch Elvis all day on Saturday, and we thought we'd died and went to heaven, you know, watching Elvis movie after Elvis movie. He was incredible. You know, he was in the Army. He was wherever he was. And was you one of the girls screaming?
I was.
That was just wherever Elvis was.
That's right.
Even in the Army, they were probably hiding outside the fence. He was really in the Army. If some of you young people are saying, "What is he talking about?" But a lot of people wouldn't go serve. They tried to get a letter of, you know, their knees bad or whatever. But Elvis, as popular as he was, he went in and served our country. That said a lot about him. So tell us about your job. You're the one that you may answer the phone if you need the Carnegie. Talk about the different venues, because people can rent these or have shows or wedding receptions or whatever. Tell us what's available.
That's exactly right. I'm the operations manager, so I'm usually your contact person if you do want to rent one of our venues. People do not realize that we rent the Carnegie, which is a beautiful historic building right here in downtown. We rent the theater here, and we also rent the Market on Madison. We have 2 plazas as well, the Bicentennial and the Jackson. So people all of these venues, if you need to have a get-together, I guarantee you one of these venues will meet your needs. Very, very reasonable, and just good, and it's good just to be downtown.
Yeah, and we're very fortunate to have the Carnegie Library and this renovated Martin Theater, Theater Dublin. But the Carnegie family built libraries all over the country. And prior to 1960 or so, when we built the Lawrence County Library, that was our library here. Right. So a lot of history there. It's perfect for wedding receptions or maybe a small dinner theater type thing or whatever it is. We've had all kind of things there. Meetings, whatever. It's really cool, and it'll hold how many people you think?
About 100, 80 to 100 comfortably.
Okay. So, okay, Evans, now let's talk a little bit about that you wear a few hats also. So tell us what you do.
Yes, sir. So as Main Street Director, I basically oversee any marketing and any special events that we host in downtown Dublin, which has kind of always been my passion and something I've grown to love over the years. And it's great, you know, it's a lot of work beforehand, but the result afterwards and seeing, you know, the community come together and enjoy everything is, you know, what makes it all worth it in the end. Because, you know, if we as a team and everybody here can make everybody happy, you know, you can't go wrong with that. So.
Yeah, you're being really humble over there. I'm gonna have to pull it out of you, I guess. You are a social media guru. And that's for lack of a better word. I've been sitting here trying to think of the right word. Guru does not give it justice, but whether it's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Kids your age don't even do Facebook, I hear anymore, TikTok, whatever. But give us, talk about social media, how important it is.
Yes, it's definitely became a tool that is more powerful than, you know, any of us could have ever imagined. It's the main source of advertising in today's time. And we still also have to balance that out with the, you know, traditional analog forms of advertising, like the newspaper and magazines and, you know, physical publications.
Yeah,
but,
television, that's right. Go
right.
ahead.
Yeah, and just TV too. And but social media is really the driving force and the easiest way, because you can literally come up with something in seconds and get it out to the public now, which is, you know, something 20, 30 years ago you couldn't do, but now you can do it, and it's, you know, it helps us and helps the community stay in the loop on everything. So we try to use it to the best of our ability and, you know, take as much advantage of it as we can.
Yeah, and social media is so important. People my age, we watch a television, you know, that big TV on the wall now, smart TV. But younger people, and I've had this happen at lunch, some young person walk up, Mr. Dill, I was over there watching you so-and-so. You know, they're watching it on their iPad, iPhone, whatever. But younger people do TV and even newspaper. They don't hold a paper in their hand. They read it digitally or whatever. So, but I looked right before I came here today so I could, because I knew I was going to be talking to a guru. But in the last 12 months, our YouTube channel, we've had 4 million people watch at least some of our content. But we're a 24-hour day, 7 days a week, and we put it across all social media platforms. Mm-hmm. And you have to do that this day and time, because you never know. And, you know, we have them all over the state of Georgia, a lot from middle Georgia, and then we have them around the world. Mm-hmm. And I do believe that those people probably used to live here. They want to keep up what's going on in Dublin. You're watching us right now. You're saying, that guy's 23 and he knows all that stuff, you know, but you're watching us in Japan right now, or the United Kingdom, Australia. And we as you know, a social media guy, we monitor all those things. We know where people are watching us from. It's truly the World Wide Web. Mm-hmm. But I remember, long before you was born, I remember when I first heard, I had a guy working for me, Jeff Pridgeon, and I said, well, "What you going home early today, Jeff?" And I said, "What you going to do this evening?" "Mr. Dill, I'm going home to search the World Wide Web." I said, "What the heck is the World Wide Web?" And this was in the 80s, probably the late 80s, I guess, mid to late 80s. He said, "Oh, I can do this, I can do that." I said, "Oh man, quit pulling my leg, just go on home. Just tell me you don't want me to know what you're doing." But I got to looking, and there was this new thing called the internet. Mm-hmm. You know, Google wasn't founded until around 1995, YouTube, you know, about the same time. So all these things, your generation, they've always been around. Mm-hmm. Now, my grandkids, they're going to say one day that, you know, to their grandparents and people like you, why'd y'all hold a telephone? Why'd y'all walk around holding a telephone, you know, when you can just speak it with these new Google glasses that are coming out, or Apple glasses. So you're seeing evolve. Just, you talked about when you were younger, you've seen it just in that short amount of time just explode, hadn't you?
Right, yeah, because like even growing up, my dad is one of those people that loved having the newspaper in front of him, mm-hmm. especially for the sports section and everything. So just seeing that, like up until probably I was a junior in high school, you know, people were still out delivering the paper and everything, and we still have the Courier Herald here, but it's not as common as it was even then. You know, no. It's changed within 5 to 6 years. So. Yeah,
there's no doubt about it. Very few people even, and we do have a good newspaper here, but very few people now, because my generation, we're dying away. Mm-hmm. And as we die away, everything's going to be different. Right. Elaine, let me ask you. When we sit here together, I know I feed off of enthusiasm from other people. And I want to ask you, when you sit here listening to Evans talk about that, first of all, we learn.
We learn.
And I know you're learning on a daily basis. Tell me what it's like working with him.
Oh, he's wonderful. I mean, all you do is just say, can you build me an ad? Sure. I mean, he's just amazing. He really is. And just like that, what would take me an hour to 2 hours, 5 minutes, all right, I'm done. I mean, it's just amazing. And it's, you know, his generation, they're just so talented in that. I mean, where we've had to learn it, it's something that I think they're born knowing almost.
Yeah.
And it's just, we're such a great team. I feel like we all have great strengths and weaknesses, and we play off each other, and, you know, his strength and Glenda's strengths, and then they help me, and so we all together. But no, he is just the social media guru. We're going to change your name to that. We're gonna you
change his business cards. I know they're new. Just get rid of them. He's the new guru. He was already the guru. I mean, but yeah, it's just incredible. But you know, feeding off of each other and learning from each other and helping each other. I just told somebody this morning. I was thinking when you were saying that, but I told somebody this morning. I said, I can tell you my strengths in about 3 minutes. Probably wouldn't take that long. I'm being very generous. But now I said, if you want to know my weaknesses, we're going to have to get us a sack lunch and get together, and we're going to spend most of the day together. But I believe the difference between good people and great people is great people, we recognize, you know, our very, very minute strengths, but we also recognize our weaknesses, and you must do that. You try to learn from those things, but you know, but you also need people around you. You surround yourself with good people and positive people.
That's right.
So, Evans, let me ask you, now you're the younger person. What is it like not working around somebody older? I know you were thinking that. Where is he going with this? But you also learn from Glenda and Elaine, because when you mix generations like this, I know I do, talk about working with Glenda and Elaine.
Right. It's been, you know, nothing short of a rewarding experience, and something, you know, I would, you know, never give up for. I've learned so much from both of them in just the past few months, and something I'll always cherish in my life, and glad I had the opportunity to work with both of them, you know, hopefully for a few more years. Hopefully it's not short-lived, and can continue working and learning every day. You know, I learn something new every day from them, just from their past, talking about their past experiences, and, you know, how something may have not worked here, and, you know, just learning from them has been the greatest opportunity I've had.
Okay, guys, I appreciate you joining us today. I've definitely learned today from Glenda, Evans, and Elaine. We should always try to pick up something when we have a conversation with people. And Elaine, you and I learned from the guru today.
That's right.
And Southern Printing, or Miss Alexander, whoever, let's get them cards printed up. I know Miss Alexander's watching us right now. Just Glenda, sign off on it. Don't worry about it. But y'all do have a great team here. There's no doubt about it. But thank y'all for joining us today.
Thank you.
I want to thank Glenda. She's moved on. Work. You got to work. Y'all were here till 9 o'clock last night. And here I did want to do an interview. We taped this early this morning, so. But I want to thank y'all for doing that.
Thank you so much.
And thank you wherever you're watching us from. If you're Evans' group or mine and Elaine's group, you're watching us different ways. But we do thank you for watching us. YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, television, however you're watching us. Thank you for watching us today right here on TV 35.